All right, Mike Catalana, I'm Jenna Cottrell. The Bills with a Week 1 loss here against the Steelers, 23-16 the final score. Mike, what went wrong today for the Bills?
Really, everything went wrong. You could put blame on all three phases of this team.
Yeah.
Certainly special teams with the spectacular punt block that they gave up for a touchdown right after the defense gave up the long drive, the pass interference call against Levi Wallace, or the holding, and then the touchdown on the great play by Deontay Johnson. And the offense all day, I mean, yes, they scored 16 points. They failed in the red zone. They turned the ball over.
Yeah.
But it really starts with 17.
That was the thing. I felt like for Bills fans, they were just waiting to see Josh Allen kind of come alive. He really never got into a rhythm. He was also running for his life. We joked, the offensive line, because offensive line play today for the Bills was not good at all. But it really seemed like even his receivers were having drops. We saw Gabe Davis drop a couple, Emmanuel Sanders as well, Stephon Diggs. It felt like for Josh, nothing could really start to get him in a rhythm.
Yeah, because we've seen him in that rhythm, and he gets on a roll, and he can dominate, right? And even in the games, go back to the last home game here, last year in the playoffs against Baltimore.
Yeah.
And Josh wasn't great in that game, but the defense picked him up.
Correct.
Okay, the defense did some really good things today, but when they needed him in the second half to get a stop, to get the ball back, the defense failed. Look, Pittsburgh wanted this game, but the question was, would Josh Allen be the better quarterback? I say to you guys all the time, Josh Allen goes into these games as the better quarterback in nearly every one.
Yeah.
I got to tell you something. The old man from Pittsburgh was better than him today, and he made those big throws in the second half.
In the second half, too, it's like the Steelers got that momentum, and they just crushed the Bills with it. And like you said, the defense, I thought in some instances they did play pretty well.
Yeah.
But then those key moments, it was like everything was just going awry.
You can make numbers say whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
You can say that defense only gave up, 16 points, and then they gave up one on special teams, right? And you could say, well, you should win when that happens. And that's true. But in a game where your offense is struggling, you need the defense to step up. They did not do it in those key moments. Offensively, it's so strange, isn't it? There were times last year where you're like, who's going to get the touchdown this time?
Yeah.
And today it felt like there was, a big wall in front of the end zone. Like they weren't getting in. They weren't converting on third downs.
No.
And Allen was running around. And look, I love Brian Daboll. He did not have a good day today. And it makes it a harder day when the things you call, yes, the deep ball like to Sanders and Josh misses them, fine.
Yeah.
Some drops, missed throws, that happens. But when your offensive line is not coming through for you, man, that blows up plays in a hurry. And then, I'm not going to say panicked. I'm not going to say they panicked. But he never got in a rhythm today.
No.
And I thought Daboll had a rough day today. I really did.
I agree with that. I just felt like there was no level of comfort. Like I felt like the entire offense, it was always in a frenzy, just trying to pick up that momentum because it was just such a struggle.
And how about that fourth down call?
Oh.
Well, they went backwards enough today. You don't want to throw it backwards.
Yeah.
Sean McDermott didn't like that play.
He did not. He did not like that play.
Yeah, he was asked about that play post-game, and I got to do better. We got to do better.
Yeah.
Very pointed. Look, Daboll has helped make Sean a better coach.
Oh, absolutely.
Today he didn't do that. But it's on Sean McDermott a little bit today, too. I don't know what he was doing on the fourth downs. Now, I will tell you,
interesting decisions.
Yes. I thought early he should have gone for it. He punted.
Yes.
When he went for it the second time, I think it was 4th and 9, you are in no man's land there. The punt doesn't do you much good. He threw it down the middle, I think, to Gabe Davis. It was incomplete.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think, man, if you're going to be aggressive, go for it. Get on your horse. This is who we are. And I think he lost a little faith in his offense. It was a weird day in what his decision-making was.
There was one time where they didn't go for it, and Josh was livid on the walking off the field. And it was weird because I feel like the calling card has been, look how aggressive we're going to be now. Yep. We have the playmakers to do that. But then when you saw everything on the field happening, and then at one point I felt like they decided to go to the run.
Yeah.
And Devin Singletary, he had a couple nice runs in there, but them going to the run as well. Like, what did you make of them doing that?
I think they did it because they had nothing going in the passing game. I think Pittsburgh had an outstanding game plan. Think about this when you watch that game. How many times did you see a Bills player, which we've seen, open, except maybe Sanders deep.
Yeah.
How many times did you see them run after the catch? It was very limited today.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh played a physical game in that secondary.
Mm-hmm.
They hit, they knocked the ball loose, they hit Allen. Again, Mike Tomlin had lost his last 2 games to his college teammate here.
Yeah.
They wanted this game. I get it. Teams always want the game, but Pittsburgh came out in that second half and was a dominant team. We've seen that in a very limited amount of time with this Bills team, right? Only a few games last year. And they only lost, 3 during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And Kansas City beat them. That Tennessee game got out of hand.
Arizona
was on a play at the end, right? This game, in that second half, they got pushed around. I really do believe it. So now what do? That's the question, right? I think they got to make some changes on the offensive line.
Yeah, and I think Sean McDermott, he said post-game, we're going to look at the tape, but you could tell, obviously, he was not pleased with the play of the offensive line, the offense in general, the team in general, because there were the penalties too.
Oh, yeah.
It was like,
holding.
Again, Mitch Morris said after the game, it's like we kept shooting ourselves in the foot, and that is true. Josh Allen said post-game, we have a lot to learn from this game. He says that about every game.
Yeah.
But I will say, you brought it up when we were talking before, like this team has expectations on them. They're going to be the team that when other teams are playing them, they say, oh, this is the Bills. This team is highly coveted. We're going to circle the game.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So we asked Micah Hyde about that. And I love Hyde. I think he's a great player. He's a great captain. It's the end of a game. I've said to you guys many times, 3 decades plus doing this, I get it at the end of a game. Guys are a little cranky. Yeah. Fans, you're cranky. Heck, we were a little cranky today.
I'm cranky.
Yes, but that's because you're hungry. But
yes.
At the same time, when I asked him about playing teams and high expectations, he said, this is the NFL and everybody gives their best. Well, they don't. That's not the case. Maybe week 1, everybody gives their best.
Yeah.
Though you've seen some of the scores today. But Pittsburgh had it out for the Bills today. They did not. They played better in the first half than the result. Mm-hmm. They just didn't get the result. And then the second half, they dominated. So they're going to see that every week. Yeah. Think about that. In addition to Miami and New England, they beat up everybody last year except Kansas City, and they're going to get all those teams. So Mike is great. I think he's wrong on that. I think the Bills have a target on them this year. They are the hunted, not the hunters.
I think externally that's the message. Internally, it's because it's Captain Micah Hyde, as we know. But I think internally it's like, all right, guys, you can't just roll the football out. Like, we got to play. We got to be prepared. I know everyone thinks we have a lot of talent, but if you don't execute with that talent, you're not going to get anywhere.
Now, I will say this. It is week 1. Pittsburgh had a new offensive coordinator. They changed some things on defense. By the way, T.J. Watt earned the money today. He was really good.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and the Bills' offensive line. Dion, look, I still don't think he's still 100% yet, coming off of COVID. Rough day, holding calls. I mean, the offensive line's got to get things worked out. Look, even our light goes off.
Our light just shut off.
That's telling us it's time to stop talking. God, you talk so much.
For more post-game thoughts, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Of course, we have more insight coming up, more interviews as well. From Mike Catalana, I'm Jenna Cottrell. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like our stuff. We'll catch you next time on the Buffalo Plus channel. That light.